Hello and welcome to 12-Minute Review. I'm Skippy Lucky 7. Today I'll be reviewing Straight Out of Nowhere, Scooby-Doo Meets Courage the Cowardly Dog by Warner Brothers Animation. Now, I love Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo is a franchise that I hold dear to my heart. And Courage the Cowardly Dog is one of the many great Cartoon Network Renaissance cartoons that is technically a Hanna-Barbera cartoon because most cartoons went under Hanna-Barbera because most animations were made at Hanna-Barbera Studios until it got turned into Cartoon Network Studios, and then Cartoon Network Studios branched out into different places such as Burbank. But enough about a little bit of history of that. Courage the Cowardly Dog was made by the creator John R. Dilworth of Stretch Films Productions, and he's, let's say, like, the closest I don't want to offend him, but he's great at coming up with night terrors for kids at a young age, because some episodes really stick with you when you watch like really old Courage the Cowardly Dog episodes, and like he's like the tame version of Tim Burton, I would say, or not the tame version, but more of like if Tim Burton had a kid, this would be his kid. And Scooby-Doo and Courage the Cowardly Dog, it's not the first time that they met. In some of the bumpers of Cartoon Network, as well as the Scare-a-thon Cartoon Network in the early days, they played back-to-back episodes of Courage the Cowardly Dog and Scooby-Doo. So this is a true official, meeting between the two cowardly dogs themselves. So let's get into the plot of the special. Basically, the plot evolves around Scooby and the gang meeting Courage, Muriel, and Eustace on their farm, and they get to nowhere because Scooby runs off, and they have to try to figure out what's going on with all these weird bugs popping up in the middle of nowhere. So it's up to Scooby and Courage to solve the mystery along with their friends. That's a simple plot without trying to spoil anything. But if you want spoilers, I'm about to say spoilers. I'll probably put a timestamp somewhere else in the video. Basically, like I said before, Courage and Scooby team up to try to solve why all these bugs are appearing. And it turns out the reason why all these bugs are appearing is because there's a meteorite that fell in nowhere a long time ago, and the meteorite has special like reality warping bending properties to it that can cause mayhem. And also the bad guys who are using it, which is Cats and LaQuack, they're using it to brainwash, well, technically brainwash, but they say suggest, like mind suggestion. They're brainwashing people to give them money, such as rich people. And like there's tons of references in the movie from previous episodes, and even on the TV, when the gang first gets to the house in the middle of nowhere, you could see John R. Dilworth in his banana variant, like the stretch films, product logo, with him having a banana through his ear, which was a nice reference. But there's a thing with making a good special crossover where it feels like both characters fit in the same universe versus one character taken away from their universe and trying to fit them into the other person's universe, like most crossovers nowadays do, where it's these characters in this spin-off or this show. It's not two of these shows, like their writers and staff working together to make it seem like it's reasonable for these two characters to meet. And that's what I get from this special. It's all Scooby-Doo, but it feels like they're trying too hard to incorporate Courage into it. And like I love spin-offs. I love spin-offs and crossovers. And like certain crossovers work, especially one of the best Cartoon Network crossovers that anybody will say is the Grim Adventures of the Kids Next Door, because they work to the advantages of the Kids Next Door in Billy and Mandy. But with this, it doesn't, like, in the first half it's Scooby-Doo like, but then in the last half of the movie it's Courage like. And the voice actors return, and like Courage's voice actor still has it. I believe they replaced Hustis's voice actor. Unless it was always Jeff Bergman. I have to go back. But they also got the original voice actress of Muriel. She's still there. And like all the voice actors do a great job doing the performance, but there's a lot of repetitivity in the movie. And also just like, do you remember this episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog? Do you remember this one? And they keep badgering you sort of over the head with forced jokes or like stuff, because like Hustis, like we all know the famous Ooga Booga Booga where Hustis pulls out his green mask and scares Courage. He does it roughly about, like, if I can remember correctly, like 6 times in the movie. First time he does it, okay, it's a nice reference. The other times it just slowly starts falling down and down and down. And like, listen. You should have saved it for either the end or the middle of the movie. If you keep doing it over and over again and make that the only thing for Hustis to do, it takes away from the iconicness of it. Like, sure, Hustis like scaring Courage and making him scared, but sometimes he didn't even need to scare Courage because he would just threaten him, or just put him out in the cold and be like, "Stay here, stupid dog," and be like that. I like the chemistry between like Shaggy, Courage, and Scooby, because it does work at times. And like I like how Muriel actually talks to the gang and like, "Oh, you kids are nice," and she doesn't. She keeps getting what they're doing wrong. Like she keeps calling them riddle solvers instead of a group of, mystery solvers, and that's nice. But like the twist ending, and like again, this is spoilers. The twist ending is that Katz and LeQuack disguise themselves as the mayor of nowhere to try to take the crystal so they can brainwash people to get money. And then the movie ends with them using the meteorite that makes everything weird in nowhere, which is the main central cause for everything being weird in nowhere. They use the meteorite as a disco ball so they can dance at the end of the movie, and the movie ends off with them all dancing. And like most TV shows or movies end with a dance number. I understand that, but that like Courage the Cowardly Dog often didn't really end with like dance numbers. It often either ended with the problem not truly being resolved, which does make sense for it, or other times Courage would just look at the camera, laugh, and we would see what would happen to the villains or the mysterious beings that came to nowhere, and seeing how they either adapted to their problem or if the problem truly never went away. But this special is sort of on the same line as the Return to Zombie Island, because that sucks. Return to Zombie Island is a terrible Scooby-Doo movie because it ruins the tetralogy of the straight Scooby-Doo movies, like the original Zombie Island, Witch's Ghost, Alien Invaders, and Cyber Chase. And Cyber Chase is one of my very favorites. It just ruins it. And also, they didn't even get permission from the original creator of Courage the Cowardly Dog, John R. Dilworth. They didn't even like run this past them because Cartoon Network, aka Warner Brothers, owns the rights to Courage. And you can tell the project's not on a good start if they don't get the permission or even try to include the original creator on a project that involves their characters or something that they made. We've seen this happen with Powerpuff Girls. We've seen this happen with Teen Titans. And but it felt nice to see Courage again. And like, they didn't write the characters out of place, except for that one scene where they have Eustace do a huge rap about money, because all the brainwashed people from the meteorite start delivering the money at the farmhouse. And so Eustace is so happy that he got all this money from these brainwashed people, so he does a rap. He does a legitimate rap. He starts rapping about how much money he's getting, how happy he is. And then like it just comes out of sort of nowhere, and then it goes away like nowhere. Which but certain scenes either draw out for too long or dialogue's really dry. Like, the thing with Courage the Cowardly Dog is that the humor and writing were always witty. They made fun of themselves with that. And they would always either come back to certain things and, like, it's hard to explain because Courage the Cowardly Dog is a really great show, and Scooby-Doo is a franchise that has shown to have great writing and stuff. But in general, what I truly think of straight out of nowhere, Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog, it's bringing two characters that seem like they would fit together into a scenario where it would work, but certain things feel off. They try to they overuse jokes or things in the show, and certain points are either don't make sense or they just draw out for too long. But this is just my opinion. You guys can go watch it. It comes out soon. I got it early. But hey, that's about it. Please, Warner Brothers, don't sue me. I put it up. I put up the music video. People have to see this. If people are gonna ruin something that people hold dear to their hearts, you have to let the people decide if they like it or not. You can't just hide it, and then when people see it, they're gonna hate it. But I found the rap video funny because it just came out of nowhere. But yeah, that's about it. Be safe and stay creative.